Okay, children. Today I'll start with a new chapter, Withering the Storm in Irsama. This is written by Harsh Mandir. He was born in Shillong in 1955. He is a writer and a social worker. He worked as an IS officer. He is a social work activist. Some of his works is Unheard Voices, Stories of Unforgotten Lives, etc. He's been awarded with Rajiv Gandhi National Sadbhavna Award for Peace in India. This narrative is a cyclonic disaster narrative, and it is based on the cyclone that hit Orissa in October 1999. Okay, and it was a very devastating cyclone which killed thousands of people and destroyed hundreds of villages. Okay, and this is a story about Prashant. The main character of the story is Prashant, and it speaks about, or it talks about, his brave deeds, which and the way he kept himself controlled and worked for the betterment of the people at that time of epidemic or pandemic. Okay, so in this story, so let's start with the story. On october on 27th October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Irsama, a small town in coastal Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village, to spend a day with a friend. So the story is of 27th October 1999, and it is after 7 years after the death of his mother that Prashant has gone to the block headquarter office of Irsama, which was a small town in near coastal Orissa. And his friend's house was at least 18 kilometers away from his village. And he went there to stay with his friend. In the evening, a dark and menacing storm quickly gathered. Winds beat against the house with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before. Now, in the evening, as dark was just spreading everywhere, sky was getting darker, and it was appearing that something very terrible or terrific is going to happen. Okay, and very quickly storm started blowing, and the storm was beating against beating against the houses. It was in a very destructive mood. The anger of wind was being seen. Okay, the angry mode of the wind could be seen with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before. And Prashant has never seen this type of anger, fury of the wind or storm. Heavy and incessant rain filled the darkness. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. So, very quickly, it started downpouring, and there was a continuous and heavy rainfall, which filled the whole environment and atmosphere. It was totally dark. The trees were getting, the ancient trees means the old trees were they getting uprooted, and they were crashed to the earth. They were falling on the ground. Screams rent the air as people and houses were swiftly washed away. And people were screaming as their houses were washed away, means it was swept away by the ocean water. The angry water swirled into his friend's house. So the water was gushing so fiercely that it entered into his friend's house, and it was neck deep. The building was of brick and mortar and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 kilometer per hour. And the building, since it was a pakka house, it was made up of brick and mortar, so it could stand the devastating effect of the wind and the ocean. But the cold terror of the family grew with the crashing of trees that had not got uprooted and fallen on their houses. But the family which was staying inside the house, they were getting tensed, feared, as those trees were just falling on the roofs. Sometime in the sometime in the middle of the night, damaging its roof and walls. And a tree had fallen on their roof, which has damaged their wall and roofs. The crazed destruction brought by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours. And this whole game of destruction, it continued till 30, it continued for the next 36 hours, although wind speeds had reduced somewhat by the next morning. By the next morning, wind speed has reduced. To escape the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friends' family had taken refuge on the roof. And to escape this water that had entered in their house, so Prashant and his friends' family, they all went to the roof and took shelter there. Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. And it was early in the morning, so all these incidents was happening in the night, but they could just hear it. Okay, they were just hearing and visualizing it, but they were not and that visualization was always in their mind through the sounds and all. That visualizing through eyes, they had not seen it. Okay, so when early in the morning they were on the roof top, they could see the destruction through their own eyes. Okay, and it was very shocking. A raging, deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as their eye could see. So this brown sheet of water, the water is being compared, the dirty brown muddy water is being compared to brown sheet. Okay, and it means that wherever you could see it, there were just water and water. Only fractured cement houses were still stood in the few places, and only few places, only in few fractured houses, means it were just broken, were could be seen there. Bloated animals carcasses and human corpses floated in every direction, and you could see that how human body was floating, how animal body was floating in all directions. All around, even huge old trees had fallen, and everywhere trees had fallen down. This was a blessing in disguise. Okay, no. Two coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house, and two coconut trees have fallen on the house that night. In the night, they heard that sound. So it was of these two coconut trees. This was a blessing in disguise. What is the meaning of the phrase blessing in disguise? Blessing in disguise means that you are totally in a troubled situation, and in that something good news or good thing happens. Disguise. Okay, this is the meaning. So and how this blessing in disguise, this fall of coconut tree was blessing in disguise, because the coconut trees, the fruits of these coconut trees served them served them from say or saved them from starving. Okay. Okay, so we have to start from we have to continue this chapter. Withering the storm in Irzama. Okay, so it is page number 38. For the next 2 days, Prashant had huddled with his friend's family in the top on the rooftop. They froze in the cold and incessant rain. The rain water washed away Prashant's tears. The only thought that flashed through his mind was whether his family had survived the fury of the super cyclone. Was he to be bereaved once again? So, for the next 2 days, he was sitting with his friend's family on the rooftop, and due to regular rainfall and thunderstorm, and with the harsh blowing of the wind, the climate, the environment had become very cold. So he was on the rooftop, he was freezing with cold, freezing with cold, and with the incessant rain, the rain water washed away Prashant tears. The meaning of this is, it is a phrase, okay? He saw so much of devastation early in the morning that his tears were washed away with this rainwater. Okay, he was not crying. He has become numb. The whole scenario was so devastating, so fearsome, so gruesome, okay, grave, that his tears were just washed away. And the only thought that was coming to his mind was that whether his family in his village survived this super cyclone or not. Okay, he was totally thinking about his family. And he was thinking that if that he may not face the situation with 7 years before he faced. Okay, he was having that fear in his mind that while when he reaches home, he may or may not stand at the position in which he was 7 years before with the death of his mother. That's why bereaved means to mourn on the loss of someone very near and dear. 2 days later, which seemed to Prashant like 2 years. Now see the times when you are not happy, or the sad moments, the very disturbing moments of your life always appears quite long. Okay, it is very natural. Happy times, they just flew in a second. Okay, you cannot grab that. But unhappy and sad moments are very long. So here 2 days for him was appearing as if it was 2 years. The rain ceased and the rainwater slowly began to recede. Rain has now stopped and it was slowly receding. It was moving. It was taking its path. Prashant was determined to seek out his family without further delay. And Prashant was very much determined now that now he is going to move away from here and will look for his family's well-being. But the situation was still dangerous, and his friend's family pleaded with Prashant to stay back a little while longer. And so Prashant's friend's family, they knew that the situation is a bit grave, and they asked him to stay a bit longer. But Prashant had made up his mind that no, I have to now, whatever may be the situation, I have to come out from this place and look for his family. He equipped himself with a long sturdy stick. Sturdy means hard. And then started on the 18-kilometer expedition back to his village through the swollen flood waters. Now he has taken up his journey back to his village, which was 18 kilometers away. And it was a journey he would never forget. And this was a journey that he will never forget in his life. That everywhere it's water, and he has to cross those water. He constantly had to use his stick to locate the road to determine where the water was most shallow. So constantly this, and in his expedition, the sturdy stick which he took was his only helpmate. Okay, it was helping him to know where the road was of which kind, okay, whether there is a pit hole, where to locate the depth of water and everything. At places it was waist deep and progress was slow. At some places water was coming to his waist, and so he was not able to walk fast or move fast in that water. At several points he lost the road and had to swim. Since everywhere it was water, he could not locate the road, the villages. Okay, so he was misleaded from his path. After some distance, he was relieved to find 2 friends of his uncle who were also returning to their village. Now, there was a sigh of relief when he saw that 2 known people, and they too were returning to their villages. And so they decided that they will swim or move together. Okay, fine. As they waded through the water, the scenes they witnessed grew more and more macabre. Okay, what is macabre basically? Okay, let's see what is macabre. What is macabre? Okay, macabre is a effect. Okay, it is a effect makes surrounding more gruesome, tensed, okay, fearing, frightening. Okay, see, this is a effect. Suppose you are watching a movie, okay, a ghost movie or a detective fiction, anything like that you are watching. So there you have seen that how special effects are being used. Okay, how the effect is being put around to make that situation look very tensed, look very fearing, frightening, so that when you're watching a detective movie or a horror movie or a ghost movie, anything you watch, you can feel that thrill, that horror within you, to make you uh, feel that emotion of fearness, that horror. Okay, this macabre effect is being used. Okay, this macabre effect is being used to create fear, horror. Clear? So here also, in the story also, the narrator is saying that the whole situation, the surrounding, while he was crossing the flooded area, was quite gruesome. It was a macabre effect. And how this effect is coming? They had to push away many human bodies. So you just imagine. Okay, now if you just catch these words, अगर words को पकड़ो और उन सारे वर्ड्स को पिक्चर की तरह लाओ सामने, तो तुम्हें दिखेगा एक मकैब्रे इफेक्ट, एक हॉरिफाइंग इफेक्ट. तुम्हारे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाएंगे उस इफेक्ट को देख के. जस्ट इमेजिन कि पूरा पानी से भरा हुआ है, एवरी स्पेस इट इज जस्ट फिल्ड विद swollen with water, and you are crossing that area, crossing through that river, and while crossing you have to just you have to keep you have to just move aside all the dead bodies of human dead bodies. Okay, human dead bodies of men, children, women, animal carcasses. So you can just feel the horror. कितना डरावना और भयानक हो जाएगा सीन, कि चारों तरफ सिर्फ पानी ही पानी है, कुछ भी नहीं दिख रहा है, हर तरफ सिर्फ ह्यूमन बॉडी फ्लोट कर रहे हैं. और तुम ह्यूमन बॉडीज को साइड हटा करके, हम नॉर्मल में कभी डेड ह्यूमन बॉडी को टच करने का नहीं सोच सकते हैं, हमें डर लगता है. तुम सोचो कि तुम ह्यूमन बॉडीज को मूव असाइड करके अपने लिए रास्ता बना रहे हो. बाहुबली का एक सीन याद है तुम लोग को, जिसमें लास्ट में ये होता है कि जहां पे वो डेड बॉडीज को सारा इकट्ठा कर करके एक माउंटेन सा बना देते हैं. ठीक है, एंड कैसे वो हीरो उन सारे डेड बॉडीज को अपने ऊपर से हटा करके वहां से बाहर निकलता है. तो जस्ट इमेजिन करो कि किसी के ऊपर तुमने ढेर सारा डेड बॉडीज फेंक दिया, क्या सिचुएशन, कैसा लग रहा था वो सीन. वो सीन काफी फियरिंग था, हॉरिफाइंग था, है ना. तो वही इफेक्ट यहां आ रहा है कि दिस बॉय व्हाइल ही इज क्रॉसिंग द रिवर, he has to just keep aside, he has to मूव करना पड़ रहा है सारा डेड बॉडी. और वो डेड बॉडीज क्या है? छोटे बच्चों के डेड बॉडीज है, यू वुमेन के डेड बॉडीज है, मैन का डेड बॉडी है. कितना डरावना सीन है. इन and children, they had to push away many human bodies, men, women, children, and carcasses of dogs, goats, and cattle that the current swept against them as they moved ahead. In every village that they passed, they could barely see a house standing. The effect of the super cyclone was so deadly that जो भी village cross कर रहे थे, they could not see a single signature, a sign of existence, of human existence there. एक भी घर नहीं था. Okay. Prashant now wept out loud and long. Now he could not control himself. Okay, वो situation देख के वो बिल्कुल भी अपने आप को control नहीं कर पाया. And he started weeping loud. He was sure that his family could not survive the catastrophe. और वो बिल्कुल श्योर हो गया कि नहीं, इतना huge destruction मेरा परिवार नहीं बर्दाश्त कर पाएगा. Okay. Among the first people, eventually Prashant reached his village, Kalikudda. The name of his village was Kalikudda. His heart went cold. He was totally numb. कोई emotions नहीं, बिल्कुल डर से, fear से वो बिल्कुल numb हो चुका था. Where their home once stood, there were only remnants of roof. Remnants means अवशेष. Okay, जहां पे उसका एक बार घर हुआ करता था, वहां पे बस उसका एक रेमिनेंट है, एक अवशेष बचा हुआ है. एंड क्या था वो? उसका रूफ. Some of their belongings were caught, mangled and twisted in the branches of trees just visible above the dark waters. कुछ उसके घर की चीजें ऐसी थी जो कि फ्लोट करते करते पेड़ों से उलझ गई थी और वो उस ब्राउन डार्क वाटर में फ्लोट कर रहे थे. Young Prashant decided to go to the Red Cross shelter to look for his family. प्रशांत ने डिसाइड किया कि वो रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी की तरफ जाएगा और वहां पे पहले अपने फैमिली को ढूंढेगा. Among the first people he saw in the crowd was his maternal grandmother. Weak with hunger, she rushed to him, her hands outstretched, her eyes brimming. It was a miracle. They had long given him up for dead. Now देखो, स्टार्टिंग में प्रशांत को लग रहा था कि उसका फैमिली सर्वाइव नहीं करेगा. सेम इमोशंस उसके फैमिली को भी वही लग रहा था. दोनों के पास, दोनों साइड, प्रशांत एंड हिज फैमिली बोथ वर थिंकिंग दैट दे कुड नॉट मीट ईच अदर. ठीक है, तो व्हेन ही रीच द रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी, सबसे पहले वो किसको देखता है? सबसे पहले वो अपनी मैटरनल ग्रैंडमदर को देखता है, अपनी नानी को देखता है. एंड शी वाज वीक विथ हंगर. शी वाज वेरी वीक. शी रश्ड टू हिम. She opened her arms and her eyes were brimming. वो बिल्कुल रोने के मूड में थी, बिल्कुल आंखें भर गई थी उनकी. It was a miracle. They had long given him for dead. And they were very happy. It was like a miracle for him that Prashant is back. Quickly word spread and his extended family gathered around him and hugged him tight in relief. और थोड़ी देर में हर तरफ ये आवाज हो गई कि नहीं, प्रशांत इज सेफ एंड साउंड. और थोड़ी देर में उसका पूरा परिवार उसके पास आके उसको अपने से कस के हक कर लेता है. दे मेक हिम वेरी क्लोज. प्रशांत एंशियसली स्कैन्ड द मोर्टली बैटर्ड ग्रुप. घबरा करके प्रशांत वो सारा क्राउड देखता है रेड क्रॉस शेल्टर में. ठीक है. हिज ब्रदर एंड सिस्टर, हिज अंकल्स एंड आंट्स, दे ऑल सीम टू बी देयर. और वो सबको हड़बड़ा के देखता है कि मेरे सारे रिलेटिव्स हैं कहाँ, अंकल, आंट्स, अदर रिलेटिव, सब वहां पे थे. By the next morning, as he took in the desperate situation in the shelter, he decided to get a grip over himself. अब वो सिचुएशन को अपने कंट्रोल में लेने के लिए तैयार हो जाता है कि चलो उसकी फैमिली बच गई, एक टेंशन खत्म हो गया. Okay, now he is in the mood of shedding away his fear. क्योंकि जिसका फियर था वो तो बच गया. ह्यूमन लॉस सबसे बड़ा लॉस होता है. ठीक है, मटीरियल पोजेशंस तुम फिर कमा लोगे, फिर से तुम्हारे पास आ जाएंगी, लेकिन तुम्हारे पास कभी भी ह्यूमन वापस नहीं आएगा. एक बार ह्यूमन लाइफ का अगर लॉस हो गया तो हो गया, वो वापस नहीं आएगा. इसीलिए कहते हैं कि मटेरियलिस्टिक चीजों के तरफ कम भागना चाहिए और ह्यूमन वैल्यूज को ज्यादा एम्बाइब करनी चाहिए. ठीक है. लॉस ऑफ ह्यूमन लाइफ इज मोर प्रेशियस देन दीज मटेरियलिस्टिक लॉसेस. He sensed a deathly grief settling upon the 2500 strong crowd in the shelter. और वो सेंस कर सकता था कि एकदम बिल्कुल मरे हुई हालत हो गई थी. They were just, वो बिल्कुल जिंदा होते हुए भी they are dead. Okay, they were living dead people. 86 lives were lost in the village. 86 people were dead. All the 96 houses had been washed away. And जितने भी village थे, 96 घर थे, वो सारे washed away हो चुके थे. It was their 4th day at the shelter. और आज चौथा दिन. So far they had survived on green coconuts, but there were too few to go around such a tumult of people. लेकिन कुछ दिन तो उनका गुजारा चल गया on the coconuts, but now it was not possible to feed such a huge crowd. Okay, such a huge disturbing crowd को feed करना उन coconuts पे अब possible नहीं था. प्रशांत all of 19 years, प्रशांत सिर्फ 19 years का, decided to step in as a leader of his village. Now he has taken grip of the situation. अपने ऊपर से उसने fear, tension, shock सबको बाहर कर दिया. है ना. सबसे बड़ी इंसान की या ह्यूमन बीइंग की क्या पावर होती है, स्ट्रेंथ होती है, जब आप डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन में अपने आप को कंट्रोल करके उसको फाइट करने का सॉल्यूशन रखें, कैपेसिटी रखें. He organized a group of youths and elders to jointly pressurize the merchant once again to part with his rice. पहला काम क्या किया उसने कि कुछ यूथ यंग लड़कों को ज्वाइन किया और एल्डरली पीपल को, और उनसे प्रेशराइज करवाया मर्चेंट पे ताकि वो कुछ राइस लोगों में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर सके. This time the delegation succeeded and returned triumphantly, and the merchant agreed that yes, he is going to help them, wading through the receding waters with food for the entire shelter. And they came. The water was just receding, it was lowering its height and all, and no one cared that the rice was already rotting. No one was bothered कि rice सड़ रहे हैं कि बच रहे हैं. Branches from fallen trees were gathered to light a reluctant and slow fire. पेड़ों को तोड़ा गया लेकिन उनमें मॉइस्चर इतना था, लेकिन फिर भी slowly fire was burnt. And on that slow fire on which to cook the rice, for the first time in 4 days, the survivors had the cyclone shelter, or at the cyclone shelter were able to fill their bellies. और in 4 days में पहली बार these cyclone victims were able to fill their bellies. His next task was to organize a team of youth volunteers to clean the shelter of filth, urine, vomit, and floating carcasses, and to tend to the wounds and fractures of the many who had been injured. चलो, फर्स्ट काम तो हो गया कि पहले सबको तुमने फीड करवा दिया. He worked on this. Second, he planned कि अब now they have gained strength. Now it was time to clean the place. Okay, so he organized youth who would clean the shelter and clean all vomit, urine, filth which was being done at same place. Okay, and no one was bothered of cleaning it. और वो जो carcasses थे human beings और animals के, उन सबको साफ करके neat and clean. First was to maintain hygiene. Okay, after the food, second thing came was the hygiene. Okay, and also to cater and look to the wounded people's wound and fractures and to heal them. On the 5th day, military helicopter flew over the shelter and dropped some food parcels. 5th day, the military came for help, and from that helicopter, they just threw some food parcels. It then did not return. The youth task force gathered empty utensils from the shelter. And what did they do now? Now they gathered this utensils from the shelter. Then they deputed the children to lie in the sand left by the water around. और उन्होंने बच्चों को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दे दी कि वो सैंड, बालू, रेत जो ओशन या रेनफॉल अपने साथ लेके आया था, उस पे they would just lie down. Okay, utensils on their stomachs to communicate to the passing helicopters that they were hungry. These children would just lie there. They would keep the plates on their stomachs so that the passing helicopter may recognize that people there are hungry. The message got through, and after that, the helicopter made regular rounds of the shelter, airdropping food and other basic needs. The helicopter now, they became aware of the fact that here there are hungry people, the people those who are facing a loss due to the super cyclone, and from that day they started making regular visits and was providing food and other basic needs. Okay. Prashant found that a large number of children had been orphaned. Now, in this devastation, there were many children whose parents had died and they have become orphaned now. He brought them together and put up a polythene sheet shelter for them. He brought all the children together and made a shade for them. Women were mobilized to look after them while the men secured food and materialized for the shelter. And now he delineated, he gave, he divided, distributed job to every people. Okay, he asked women to look after the families, look after the children, cook food for them, everyone. And it was responsibility of the male people to gather food material and look for the shelter. As the weeks passed, Prashant was quick to recognize that the women and children were sinking deeper and deeper in their grief. And very slowly, Prashant just recognized the fact that children and women all were very sad. And they were sinking deeper into depression, the loss which they had seen. Women, they have lost their children, husbands, families. And these children, small children, they have lost their parents. So he saw the grief in these women and children. He persuaded the women to start working in the food for work program started by an NGO. And he persuaded, made the women work for an NGO of preparing food for people. And for children, he organized sports event. And to make children busy, he organized sports event. Clear? So in this way, he engaged women and children both. He himself loved to play cricket. Prashant was an ardent lover of cricket. And so he organized cricket matches for children. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up broken pieces of their life. Now he was helping those women, children, and other people whose lives have been broken, damaged by this super cyclone. Okay, the super cyclone, it has disturbed their life. Okay, their lives are broken. Women have become widows. They have lost their husbands. Children, they have lost their children have lost their parents, families. Their lives have now become broken. Okay, fine. So we have been doing the chapter Withering the Storm in Irsama, and we'll be taking up the second last stanza. So herein, the writer is saying that as the weeks passed, okay, so Prashant, very soon he realized that these women and children, they were getting into depression. Okay, though he was keeping them engaged, but still they were not able to reconcile. They were not able to come in terms with present. Okay, वो अपने आप को कहीं ना कहीं रिकनसाइल नहीं कर पा रहे थे, एक समझौता स्टैब्लिश नहीं कर पा रहे थे, और अपने पास्ट को वो भूल नहीं पा रहे थे. So he persuaded the women to join an NGO and work there. And for kids, for children, he started organizing cricket matches. Okay, and this Prashant, he was also a huge fan of cricket. Okay, so he also liked playing cricket. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up the broken pieces of their life. And now he, along with other youth volunteers, making every single effort to join the broken lives of these people. Okay, join the broken lives of women and children. The initial government plan was to set up institutions for orphans and widows. Initially, the government was planning to establish a orphanage, okay, or a NGO sort of institution where these homeless, familyless women and children will be putting up. But the thing is that Prashant didn't wanted them to stay there. Why he didn't wanted them to stay there? Because he knew that it is very easy to recover amidst our own family member, but it is very difficult to adjust among others. Okay. क्योंकि अगर हम फैमिली के बीच में हैं तो हम बड़े से बड़ा ट्रॉमा भी विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम फॉरगेट कर जाते हैं. बट when we are kept alone और अनजान लोगों के साथ, with strangers, it's very hard to overcome our trauma. So however, this step was successfully resisted, but they all resisted this plan, that it won't be possible, that it's not feasible for these women and children to be put alone. Okay. So as it was felt that in such institutions, women would grow up without love and, children would grow up without love and widows would suffer from stigma and loneliness. And they realized the fact that children, they won't get love in these so-called orphanages, and women also will be lonely as usual because they are away from the family. Agar ek hi village ke hain, no doubt they are from the same family. Okay, but still they know each other. तो कहीं ना कहीं they will very successfully reconcile it to the situation. Prashant's group believed orphans should be resettled in their own community itself. And Prashant, he had this belief that these orphan children should be settled among themselves only. Okay, they should be allowed to settle among themselves. Among themselves means among their own community, among their own familyscapes. Possibly in few foster families made up of childless widows and children without adult care. So now they made a foster family. Foster family means जिसमें कोई भी अपना blood का नहीं है. Okay, all are adopted. Either mother is adopted or either children are adopted. Okay, so all childless mothers, they were given a chance or given an opportunity to again feel the happiness and pleasure of motherhood. Okay, and how is it was possible? Because they allowed the children, these widows and these childless ladies, women, to adopt these orphan children. So both were benefited. Both were being benefited. Okay, these childless women and these widowed women, they were again feeling the pleasure and they were experiencing the pleasure and happiness of being mother again. And these children, they got their mothers back. No doubt they were foster, but both were complementing each other. Both were acting as a medicinal herb to cure each other's wound, to heal each other's wound. ठीक है? Okay. It is 6 months after the devastation of the super cyclone This time, Prashant's wounded spirit has healed simply because he had no time to bother about his own pain. Initially, 7 years before children, when he lost his mother, it was very harsh for him to, or it took a huge uh, time span for him to come out from that trauma. Okay, but in this present situation, in this situation of pandemic, or in this situation of natural calamity, Prashant didn't took time to heal himself because he distracted his mind away from his own pains. He was totally engaged and busy in his own, in helping others. Okay. He was working for others. And when you are working for others, automatically you forget your own pains. Okay. His handsome, youthful face is what the widows and orphan children of his village seek out most in their darkest hour of grief. It means that he was the only face. He stood at the time of harshness with these marginalized people. Okay, these marginalized people, these women, these children. Okay, so it is their face which they remember a lot in the time of grief, because it was Prashant only who stood as a strong pillar with these women and children. Not only with these women and children, he stood with the whole mankind, with the whole population of the village. Okay, so he was working for all. So through this chapter, the writer comes up with the theme of keeping one's mind and spirit high and not to lose faith and confidence in oneself in such natural calamitic conditions or in the situation or times of pandemic. If we try to relate this chapter with present condition, the present pandemic situation, you can very easily correlate it. Okay. Initially, what was happening when COVID spread out? Everyone, they were either in a state of panic or either they were carefree. But slowly and gradually, they understood this grave situation, and instead of hiding away or keeping themselves locked within homes, they took precautionary measures and are carrying on with their daily work. Okay. So this is the spirit that during pandemic times, instead of sitting down or crying, it's better one should come up taking all precautionary measures and move on with their life, because life never stops. The 2020 year, will it be back? Will you be again of 13 or 14 years? No. When you know that life and moment is so precious, then I don't feel any need that it should be kept aside and locked within doors. It's better, theek hai, come out, take a normal life, start leading your normal life, but with precautions, which is the most important thing. Here Prashant also, when he was rehabilitating people's life, he took precautionary measures. He took care of cleanliness, of maintaining hygiene. Am I clear? He was doing it. It was not that he was only working with their food, clothing and all, nothing. No. He was also working on their hygienic aspect, which is the most important thing. And in present time also, This becomes the most important thing. You can come up to, you can come and have a very nice life, lead your life as usual, but with precaution. Clear? Okay. So with this, I'll come to end of this chapter.